Hey guys, pizza anyone? Stay tuned. Alright guys, basic recipe for pizza dough, alright? Lukewarm water, which is about 110, right, something like that. If you go above 130, you're going to kill the yeast, okay? 1 pack of yeast. Now, I use this thing here because I make more of it than you probably. But this is, so what we're doing here, we're blooming the yeast, it's called, all right? So we're putting the yeast in the lukewarm water and basically let it activate, all right? So we do this first because now we're with the dry ingredients, right? So 1 pound of, so 10 ounce, 110 water, 15 millimeter or a tablespoon of yeast, all right? Let it bloom. 1 pound of all-purpose flour. And as you can see, I like to use this stainless steel bowl with this kind of scale because all I have to do is stir it and, you know, boom, we're good. You know, so this is the bowl we're going to use to mix everything up. Tablespoon of kosher salt and a tablespoon of olive oil. All right. That's all it is to it. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes for this to start foaming a little bit and then we'll mix it. All right, so as you can see, there's a little bit of foam forming, so I know that the yeast is starting to activate. Dump that in there. Okay. I kind of whisked it before to make sure I got all the yeast. And use your finger. What I'm doing right now is just making all the yeast, not the yeast, the water and flour and stuff all getting together. Now I'm not trying to work it too hard at this point. All I'm trying to do is get it mixed up so I can work it a little bit later. All right. So what I like to do is rub the side here, so make sure I have everything. All the flours, I mean, the flour. As you can see, it's very sticky, so that's why I like to keep a hand dry. And you'll see why in a second here. That'll all come together. And that's the point here, where, you know, we're at this stage, but when it gets all nice and incorporated, you know, all the flour. Yeah, Figaro, what do you want? Not the time, all right, buddy? Yeah, not the time. Yeah, so as you can see now, the flour is starting to be very well incorporated. It wants to go outside, and that's this problem right now. So just wait a little bit. All right. So you see what's going on now? It's all coming together. All right. So now I'm using my dry end to kind of get all the dough off of me. Okay. And the thing about pizza dough is that you have to work it a little bit to release, well, to start making the gluten, right? That's what makes it elastic and, you know, makes that nice pizza taste that we like, right? All right, here we go. Right? And that's what we're looking for. All right, so clean dish towel, all right, And what I like to do is do this with it. I drenched it in water, right? Wring it a little bit so that it's not dripping wet, but it's wet, all right? And I leave it like that, okay? Just covered like this. Some people like to put plastic film over it. What I don't like about that is that it doesn't let the gases out. It keeps everything in. This case here keeps it nice and moist, you know, so it doesn't dry up, and you know, it's gonna proof. We'll see you in a few, probably an hour and a half, and we should have a good pizza dough. All right. This is my pizza oven, and the way I like to start it, I need to start it probably a couple of hours before I cook a pizza, simply because it needs to basically get all warm and nice so that the pizza crust crisps up. All right. So the way I do this, I build a stable base for it. All right. And what I mean by that is I'm going to put, like, you see, a nice little flat base here. All right. But I want to have a little space here that I can put paper. And what I do is I take a paper towel soaked in old cooking oil, you know, so that I keep them around when I do fries or things like that, right? So, because what that does is that's going to allow me to burn it, because I don't want to use anything fire starters that are chemical or anything like that. I just want to have the wood doing its thing, because at the end of the day, if it drips, if that fire starter drips and gets into my brick, I put the pizza on this all the time, so not a good thing. All right. So I built this thing, and as you say, build it at the entrance. We're going to light it here, okay, because the airflow is going to be much better before the convection kind of starts in the big oven. And once it's in a good place, I'm just going to push it back. That's why I need a good base for it. All right, let's just start it. I like to use that because, well, it lights up quick. All right. All right, so the fire is taken pretty well. So what we're going to do now is just push it further in. And as you see, that's why that little stable base is so important. All right, we're going to start seeing the convection happen, because the way this kind of oven works, all right, it sucks the cool air down here, and then it rolls over, right, and then exits off of the chimney, right? So there's this convection action that's happening, okay? So that's why I can put my hand here. If I raise it a little bit, it's much hot. It's a lot hotter. All right. So, all right. Now we wait. So we have good fire. About an hour left. All right, we have a nice little belly here. This is what it looks like. So you see, now we tap it down. And just kind of deflate it a little bit. All right. I'm gonna wet this again. And I do that just because it's kind of a warm day right now, so that's why it's doing what it's doing. All right. Next step, pizza. All right, so tonight is a kind of a regular type pizza, nothing fancy, you know. Mushroom, pepper, onion, little olive, and I don't like pepperoni. It's not that I don't like it. It gives me terrible heartburn. So what we do, we replace it with salami, right? And finally, my wife and I really like olives. Alright, secret ingredient, bacon. The thing about a pizza that cooks as fast as it does in a brick oven pizza, this has to be pre-cooked. Show you how that's done in a second. Because, you know, I just do a little, what we would call in French, lardon. Lardon. Again, it's French. Alright. I have one of those dedicated shit pan. Didn't say sheet, I said shit pan. That we just throw stuff on the barbecue and, you know, to cook. So that'll go in the pizza oven. Oh, Battery Steel Brewing from Portland, Maine. One of my subscribers, Sale 420, decided to drop this off for me. Hey, thank you, dude. All right, let me wash that. Cheers, Cell 420. Thank you. This is when you know it's getting serious, when you have to put a leather welding sleeve and welding glove. Bacon raw. Just so you know, this is real time. I'll keep talking, you know, that way you know this is not accelerated or anything. As you can see, that thing is deforming quite a bit just from the intense heat. Oops, hot. Burned the, yeah, it's hot. All right, bacon is pre-cooked. All right, how do you know it's ready to go? I use this Harbor Freight non-contact thermometer, and I scan the floor there, right? So it's right under 700 degrees. We're in a good place to start making the pizza. Otherwise it'd be too warm, well, it'd be too hot and it would scorch the bottom before the top would be cooked. So between 700 and 650 is kind of the sweet spot, I feel, for this oven. So, all right, and again, your oven might be different. You need to figure that out, you know, trial and error. All right? All right, making it. Pizza still has doubled from when we punched it down. Okay, cornmeal. it can stick, so you put more. What I try to do is keep the cornmeal on one side, all right, you know, because it can harden the pizza, all right. So just make it so that it kind of stretch it. So you see here the bubble, very thin right now, so we have to be careful to not stretch it too much, all right? But this is kind of a good place to be. At that point, I put more cornmeal because at the end of the day, this needs to slide off of this paddle into the oven. After that, no problem, but until we reach there, all right, so you see, sliding, sticking there, a little bit more here. Because otherwise, you're going to make a pizza and half of it is going to end up on the floor of your oven and you're screwed. Alright, sauce. Use whatever pizza sauce you like. You can make your own. I mean, there's a ton of recipes that you can get, but the secret here, don't be stingy on the sauce, right? Because at the end of the day, that's really the only moisture you have in there. The vegetable will cook and all of that, but this is what, a lot of flavors in here. So, you know, do your thing. All right, good with that. All right, the way I like to make my pizza, all right, salami first, right? Try to be a good boy and do equal portion. And again, salami instead of pepperoni, because pepperoni gives me massive heartburn. All right, this is good. Onions. That might be an East Coast thing to do it this way, you know, put the filling under the crust, but under the cheese, I mean, but this is how we do it. And again, the thinly sliced version of all these things, make it so that it cooks. Otherwise, it would be just, you know, a salad under hot cheese, basically. All right. Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, cheese. Pouch was already open, not enough, so I have another one. I like to use Sargentos just because this is real cheese as opposed to a more, well, when I say real, I would say that whenever you buy shredded cheese, right, they have to put some kind of something, right, whether it's flour or whatever it is that prevents the strand from sticking to one another. I mean, you've put slices of cheese on top of one another and they become one really quickly. All right, so they do something different, that this cheese is actually melting correctly as opposed to having it dry out. Okay, we like olives and we are not shy about it. And now pièce de résistance, bacon, and you see I pre-cooked it, remember, and this will make it so that it will crisp up just right, you know, doing this. All right, and we have a nice little damp cloth to wipe our hands in the oven. All right, so see the pizza is still sliding around. That's because we put enough of that cornmeal. And we just go and drop it slowly in there. All right. It's currently cooking. So we take the peel. This is how you clean it. You just basically blast it at 9,000 degrees, whatever, 900 probably up there, right? Don't worry, I cleaned it before. I don't know that you can see how that pizza is cooking. It takes more than the 60 seconds that people tell you it takes, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's not about how quick, it's how good. So you see, I just turned it. I'm sorry, I don't want to accelerate it because I want you to actually get a feel for what's real and what is fake here. This is real stuff, okay? It's not cooking in 60 seconds. Probably gonna take 180, right? 3.5 minutes, some 2.5 minutes, something like that. You know, it's not crazy here, okay? And again, it all has to do with, you see how the bacon's starting to brown here? But what we want a crust that is crunchy at the bottom, kind of nice and chewy on the outside, but still has a good crust value, right? And we want the filling to cook. So don't believe the hype, all right? The thing you also have to know about this, you see how I put my hand there? If I raised it a couple of inches, okay, see? Oh, see how my air are all burnt, all right? Yeah, this is really hot there. The bottom is not too warm, all right? But still, yeah. Don't touch it, it will fucking burn your head off. And the closer I take it to this side, the cooler it is, okay? Well, relatively speaking, right? So, kind of in a good place here. See the cheese all browning. This side could use a little bit more. All right. Pizza cooked. All right, guys, so now we're eating, right? So this is all good. Little wine from Tuscany to actually make everything right.
Tuscany.
Tuscany. She likes to do that. But I'm going to take one anyway. Woohoo! All right, guys, give me a like if you like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Crust, butter. This is the absolute worst thing you can do to your body, except for your tongue, because this is awesome. This is like bread, right? Warm bread with, oh my God. You want this, and I just ruined you forever with pizza. Have fun, bye.